right, so if we're looking at July of 2022 versus July of 2023, we're gonna see some small yet significant differences from this time last year to the time that we're sitting in right now. So in July of 2022, we had 2,850 houses in the Central Ohio area, which is Franklin County and then the surrounding counties that actually touch Franklin County, sell. So 2,850 sales in July of 2022. This year in July, we saw only 2,130 sales. This means that our inventory was down about 25% this July versus last July. So when people ask me, are houses still selling for more than asking price? My answer is usually yes. And it's because of this inventory decrease that we've seen in our area. The demand is still there, but the houses have pulled back. If you're sitting on a really nice, tidy little interest rate that you refinanced into in the last couple of years when our interest rates were low, you're probably not super jazzed up about selling your house right now and taking on that higher interest rate. Well, you're not alone. We have plenty of other people sitting and waiting to sell their house so that when they buy, if they need financing, they can get a relatively decent interest rate. That's a topic for a whole nother day. 7% interest rates are still below our historic average of 8% over the last 40 years, but don't get me on my soapbox. I won't stop talking about it. We're just gonna roll on with the data that is pertinent to you right now. We have also seen our days on market inch up a little bit. So this time last year, high summer, July of 22, the average days on market was 11 days on market. The average days on market now is hovering right around 15 to 16 days. So you can see that, your house might not fly off the market in that first weekend. It might take a week, might take 2 weeks, but if you're priced appropriately and your home is being marketed well, it should come off the market in 2 weeks or less, right around that time period, unless you have something super special. Let's say that you've got a multi-million-dollar house. Obviously, you know that your home may take longer to sell purely because not every buyer can afford that. Or if your home needs a lot of work, not every buyer may want to do that amount of work. So obviously there's outliers to the statistic, but the average, including all of those outliers, is that 15 days right now. We are also seeing that home prices are selling for about 1.66% over asking price. So gone are the days of all the houses selling for 10 and 20% over asking price. We're starting to see that shift because of those interest rates going up, where people are saying, I want to pay asking price. Or if a house has been sitting for a few days, I actually want to make my offer a little bit lower than asking price. So if you are a seller and you're thinking about pricing your house higher than what your real estate agent has advised you to do, you may actually be causing yourself more harm. Underpricing the house or pricing the house right typically drives more competition to your home and leads to your home selling at the price that it should sell at, because at the end of the day, your house is worth what someone is willing to pay for it. Next up, I want to talk a little bit about one of my favorite suburbs in the Central Ohio area, and it is a city by the name of Delaware. All right, so I love Delaware. I live in Delaware County. Even though I'm in Westerville, I promote Delaware City all the time. And the reason I do is because if you love uptown Westerville, or you love the feel of Old Worthington, you like a small college campus feel or presence in your city, Delaware is an awesome place to be. I'll save the rest of my spiel about Delaware for a different day. But our stats also prove that Delaware is a great place to live. In case you didn't know, Delaware in the month of July actually had about 160 either active or closed or canceled listings. So 64 properties closed in the month of July 2023 in Delaware. Of those 64 properties, the average sales price was $340,153. I don't have change for you, that's good enough. and the average days on market in Delaware is 9. So you can see they're floating below that 15 days on market average that we're seeing in general across central Ohio. And their average price point in Delaware is in line with the average price point for all of central Ohio. Versus in previous months, I've talked to you about places like Lewis Center, where the average price points were getting into those $700,000 ranges. Delaware is a much more affordable place to live. That said, their average list price versus sale price is about a 1.42% difference, which means homes in Delaware are still selling a little bit above their asking price, about 1.5%. Their inventory levels are down though. They're down 35% this July versus last July. So that demand is still driving competition in Delaware, but we are seeing things level out if they're only selling for about 1.42% over asking price. So don't let all the conversation about supply and demand scare you away from this market. If now is the right time for you to purchase a home, then you should purchase a home. And when the rates do come back down, and they will, you have an opportunity to then refinance into that lower interest rate. But if you can afford the house now at a 7% interest rate, you'll just be giving yourself a pay increase when you refinance into that lower interest rate and decrease your monthly mortgage payment. And who knows, if you're not a 20% down buyer and you have to wait a year or 2 years to refinance, you may have that 20% equity built up, because month over month so far in 2023, we have seen really solid gains in our home value appreciation. That's it for this month. Next month, I want to talk to you a little bit about land. So hang in there, and I'll talk to you all again at the start of September when we have our August stats in hand. Catch y'all later. Bye. Thank you for watching. Take a minute to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so every time I post a new video, you see it first.